Hello, Karim, my friend. How are you?
Hi, Braco. How are you doing? How's your day so far?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It's been beautiful, sunny here in New Jersey, New York area. So I'm excited about that. I know it's getting kind of at the end of your working day, correct?
Yeah. So actually, today's Friday, so it's a weekend, but a lot of people work. So I had work today. So yeah, you could say it's a weekday as well. Yeah.
Cool, cool. And I know it's interesting because I said it's end of your working day, but basically we want to discuss today, career shift, kind of like really pursuing your self-concordant goals. And I know that actually I know you going through that, and quite frankly, I'm going through that now as we speak as well. So
Exactly.
so let's talk about. I know in our programs we talked about self-concordant goals, and this
Yep.
is like test for you. Let's.
Yeah. I'm ready.
You ready? So what are the self-concordant goals, and what is the definition, and what do you think about it?
Yeah, obviously that's a great question. So like I remember when I was doing the assignment for for your course, the Master Course Certification course, I wrote between parentheses or between brackets, I wrote internal goals or inner goals. That was my like interpretation of the title based on what I understood from your course. And I love it because these are the types of goals that I've been pursuing my entire life. The goals that I want that aren't imposed by society or by your family and so on. And as you always stated in your course, whether it's through the video or the live virtual training, this is what increases our sense of self satisfaction and comfort. And I think like inner goal, I didn't even know that it was a good thing. Like in our culture here in the Middle East, or let's say in Egypt, the concept of career shifting is not a popular one. Like I graduated from the faculty of engineering, so the concept of leaving engineering after 5 years of studying, and I graduated with distinction and honors, and just like saying, oh, I'm gonna start something else. Why are you doing this? This is so risky. But so far, I just don't want to get into too much details. Since I graduated till now, I've been trying so many self-concorded goals, and I have to say that I wouldn't change a thing. I feel very satisfied with each step, and with each stage, I learned a new thing. So for me, that's amazing. And you yourself, like you said, you're shifting careers, and which comes to show that no matter what stage you're at in your life, you can still try something new.
Exactly. I'm really glad you said this. How a career shift or change is seen in Egypt. And it's actually not just Egypt. Now that I think about it, you may recall there was a Martin in our post psychology master coach program. And he told me he's going now back to his country, and he's almost like afraid how his family and friends are going to react to this. So it is not uncommon. You asked, you and I were chatted the other day about how is it in US. I think it's a lot more common. However, people will still question you. Like, are you crazy? You're making so much money doing this, and now you want to like start something from scratch that you know nothing about.
Yeah.
So I think and I have seen a lot of people succeeding, right? Changing their career. And if it's truly self-concordant, truly something you love to do, the chances are you will succeed. But I've also seen very small portion of individual who struggle and didn't succeed. And my advice would be there is a balance, right? I may love to do one thing, but if I'm not going to make any money in 5 years and I have to pay my bills, then I better like figure out what to do in the meantime. So I think that's a really important thing that we don't tell people, just go what you love and don't worry about anything, right? Because this is what a lot of self-help gurus will tell us, just go with what you love. Yes, but there is something that we still have to do, which is pay our bills, feed our family, and so on. So, and at the same time, I always encourage people to go after the concurrent goals. When you mentioned how is it in Egypt, there was actually I used to teach globally Dale Carnegie training, and I was business coach for them for fun. Again, same thing like what I've been doing for many years. And there was an individual who, to make this story very short, who everybody was required to do a couple of minutes speech at the end of the during the session.
Yeah.
And this individual basically shares a story that kind of shocked everybody. And the story is, he's in his family, everybody was doctor, from mom, dad, uncles, aunts. And so, of course, naturally, they asked him to do the same. So
Yeah.
he did through all of this, became a doctor. Parents spent, hundreds of thousands of dollars, whatever the number was. And then one day, shortly after, when he started his own practice, he came back and said, Mom, Dad, I love you so much, but I don't want to do this anymore. Imagine that shock in a family. So, I think it's a good advice for parents, grandparents, aunts, and, to kind of discuss this with the kids.
Yeah.
So when do you think is the time to do this shift? Is there a time? How would you define it?
That's a very important and very good question. So, and before I answer it, like while you were talking about the whole concept of parents and grandparents, I totally agree. But I have to say, yes, my parents weren't exactly on board with the idea. But once they see you succeeding in whatever goal you're pursuing and that you yourself are happy, that's what's important to them. So I just had to conclude with that. When? Okay. So for me, it actually started very early on. It started during my college years. It was when I reached that stage where I felt I'm waking up every day and I feel like I don't want to go to university, not because I don't want to study, but because all the subjects I'm taking are not appealing to me. And that was sort of the first red flag. And then as the years went on until I graduated, I felt, okay, I have to start a new stage. So that was probably when it started for me, when I felt that 1 minute passes as if it's 1 hour. That's basically how it is. I remember working as an engineer, as an intern, for like 2 or 3 months, and I didn't enjoy any single day of it. It's only because I like to excel at what I do that I succeeded in those things. But was I really happy? Was I really enjoying my time? No. So that was probably my first indication. What about you? What was your? When did you feel like, oh, I want to try something new?
Yeah, this is really interesting. So your major was engineering. What kind of engineering?
Civil engineering or structural engineering? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Interestingly enough, my major was I was also in engineering, but I
Oh,
was electrical engineer,
wow.
and I liked what I did. I didn't really. I liked what I did. The university was okay. I actually did wanted to study more the computers, but there wasn't in more details than programming languages. I had some courses, but that wasn't available. I don't know. I just applied, I think, for the electrical engineering, and I think it's because my brother was in that field.
Ah,
So. And he didn't ask me for it. It was just me. I thought it was interesting, right? Because seeing him, what he does. But I think what happened with me is it was actually different. I mean, to this day, and I'm actually shifting my career as we speak.
uh-huh.
So, so basically, the official date is January 1st next year, 2022. Right? What's year are we now? but,
Yeah, yeah.
20, but I started already. I started already, so I'm already doing this full time, and that will be my self retirement. And I think what happened for me was I wanted to do something else, and I wanted to do something that will truly, truly not just fulfill my dreams, because I don't think that was my dream, but I thought I found a calling in helping people, and I wasn't able to help enough, or at least in a way that I'd like to, by doing engineering.
Hmm.
And so that's really when I started, starting going back years ago from, getting certified from Dale Carnegie organization to do the training and business coaching again for fun once a week. This was just my passion and calling. There was no, but right now, this is going to become a business, and I truly, truly enjoy it. So I think it's a different time. It's just like you said. It's like when it clicks in you to say, I'm kind of tired of this. This is not fun for me anymore. It could be year one, it could be year 40, while in business. But when it becomes not fun, it's time to do something else. I think, as long as you can
Exactly.
financially afford it.
Exactly. I completely agree. And like, and to add to that, like, even when people tell me, okay, I want to shift careers, I tell them make sure that you've tried all the fields in your current major or in your current job. Like, for example, if a banker comes to me and he says, I want to shift careers, I'll tell them make sure that you've tried all the branches. There's finance, there's marketing, IT. Just try the different fields in the banking sector before you completely shift to a new one, because that's a really big step. So you don't want to lose any chances.
A good point. You know what I've seen a lot, and in what I do, training people on basically to become coaches and life coaches and post psychology coaches, master coaches. I have seen a lot of people shifting into coaching. All right,
Mm,
and some people shifting from, like me, from totally different industry, and some people are shifting from similar industries, right? So they might
mhm.
be in psychiatry, psychology, right? But they want to basically move into the coaching because it's really different, right? It's truly helping people getting from point A to point B, and using your own life experience, and of course, hopefully picking up a lot of research like we do in our courses. But you know uh, things that you went through in life, things that most of us went through in life that were difficult, are now great sources for us to teach and to
Yep,
coach on, right?
exactly.
So that's how we learn, right? When we go through tough time, but everything is fine, everybody's happy, really not much to learn.
Exactly, exactly. It's the same concept as like movies and the media. If everything is, great and dandy, there's no excitement. So yeah, I totally agree. And that's something you told us in positive psychology. It's about making use of your past and your experience. So this all leads to better things. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. So, but I'm thinking, um, there are still we are encouraging people to move and to do what they love to do, and at the same time to make a good plan, to make sure there's a business plan, to make sure there's a financial solid plan. I mean, all of these things are important because people sometimes just jump and say, I just love to help people, I love coaching, that's what I want to do, right? But I always kind of, hey, let's sit down and let's make sure this is right, because I don't want you to not be able to pay your bills, right? So
Exactly.
so there are a lot of challenges in career shifting. And
Hmm.
for you and me, we kind of looks like shifting from similar, going from engineering into working more with people, and that's in a training, facilitation, coaching, right?
Yeah.
What are the challenges that you've seen in career shifting?
Wow, there are like so many, but the good news is that like as long as you're fully convinced of what you're doing and you enjoy what you're doing, you'll tackle these barriers with like no worries inside. So I've shed light on the challenge or the barrier of trying to help people realize that career shifting is a good thing, whether it's your family members or your friends or whatnot. Another challenge is, okay, how do I start? So the question that people ask me is, I want to try a new field or a new job, but I don't know what it is. So I guess, and that's like the main building block. So my advice in this scenario is very simple. All you have to do is just make a list. At least that's what I did, is make a list of all the things that you're good at. So there's things that you're talented at, and there's things that you're passionate at. You won't know the difference unless you try them all. So just make one list, and then from each category or from each option, try to see, okay, what are the job opportunities that will provide or that will help me try this out. So if it's like writing, I'll be a writer or a journalist. If it's presenting, I'll be a trainer. If it's, and so on. And then you keep trying them one by one. First stage, I'd probably say try out different courses. So before I got into positive psychology, I tried your course first. It was, to me, it was really good, so I moved on to the next step. That's one thing. You can do it self-study wise or with a professional mentor like you. And in parallel, you should consult professionals in the field. So if I'm going to get into like baking or whatever, I have to consult like chefs or people who have experience in the field, because maybe when I hear the feedback from them, I'll feel, okay, maybe this isn't for me, so I don't have to waste time to try a new job. The final stage would be to enter a career, but you have to always build a portfolio before you officially start a new position. So that's one main barrier. Yeah.
Good point. So you actually touched on this, but I just want to add it maybe one more time, or maybe like how I do it in my mind. So just like as you said, you look at what you're really good at, you look at what you're passionate about. I just like to add one more circle, which you kind of added later on, but it's what will make you money, right?
Ah,
So if you look at overlap between these three, what you're really good at, what you're passionate, you love this, but also it needs to make you money. So if you
yep,
look at overlap of these three, right, because that's going to be a little, right, this thing,
yeah,
then you are really expanding into something that will be really, really good for you, right?
true.
So that's really important. And then, as you said, it is highly recommended. I highly recommend, and so do you, for people. Okay, so it's a try to different things. I mean, my biggest thing is when somebody says, I want to change, but I don't know what, that's way too far. You don't want to change. You just hate your job. You don't know what to do with yourself. That's when people tell me, I want to change, but I don't know what.
Yeah,
That's it. That's, you didn't do any of your own thinking or research, or go back to drawing board and figure out what the hell you want to be when you
exactly,
grow up, and then come back, and then maybe I'll coach you, right?
exactly,
Until then, I can't help you.
exactly.
So they have to decide what is it, just like you said. And then once they decide, again, it all depends on circumstances. Some people are lucky that they may have a lot of money. How, it doesn't really matter, right? So they can try different things and not worry about it, right? Because I have clients who do that.
Hmm.
Other people, they don't have that luxury, so I have to coach them differently. They have to be really careful how they move into this new field, right? They have to do a lot of work as a part time, right? Because wanting to do something and be a coach and say, oh, I'm really good at everybody tells me I'm really good with people. Everybody tells me I'm a good coach. That's not going to move you into, you got to slow down and find out, again, if you don't have a lot of money, then you need to take this as your second, job, if you will, and
Yep.
slowly. I have a lot of coaching, more like a students really, because I don't I have only a few coaching clients. I have no time to do much coaching, but more like students who are, we do this in mastermind program, and then we drill into business, and most of them still keep what they do to pay the bills. Again, like some have a lot of money and they can afford it, but so you really have to be careful how you move on to your second career, if you will. A lot of people also do this, and you're a young guy, so you may not see this enough, but a lot of people do this, like in my age, when they reach 60s or so, they're really tired, and they want to retire. Some of them have enough money to like say, I just want to retire, but then they tell me, I don't know what to do. I was like, give me money and I'll tell you what to do if you have them that much money. But basically, that's where a lot of shift happens.
Mm,
In like late 50s, early 60s, when people, they don't want just to retire, but they're sick of what they do. It was fine, they had a good career, they made good money, but now they want to do something else. So I've seen that happening a lot.
yeah.
And
Maybe the frequency is less. Like when you get older, the frequency is less. But again, you might think that I'm going to be a bit more adventurous as well. So I don't know. It's a balance between both.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's a balance. You also see a lot of people who basically ended their career, if you will. So you have, I deal with the people from military, right?
Mhm.
Because they retire young, all right?
Yeah.
From police force, they retire young, and they have a full pension, they have everything. But sometimes they really way too young to retire,
Yeah.
right? So now they're looking to do something, and you can always find something, but ideally you want something that you really love, because especially at that point, if the money is not the main thing, then it's easy decision, right?
I agree. I agree. And I actually want to ask you something about loving what you do. Um, is it rare that your job is also your calling in life, or are they always separate? Like, because I've been thinking about that lately, because after trying so many careers, I think positive psychology is my calling. I think so. Not sure yet. But at the same time, I keep thinking, but is it the career I want to pursue for the rest of my life, or is it something separate than the job? What do you think?
Yeah. So here's what I think. Some people are lucky that their job is also their calling, right? So you have, some people have a job, so you pay the bills. If you go up 9 to 5, whatever it is, you pay the bills, so you're good. Some people have a career, so they get a job, but then they see career within the company or within industry, and they keep moving up. They're studying, they're learning more, they get management responsibilities, they go higher up, and so on, right? So they have a career. And then you have this third group, which is like true calling, where you really, really do what you love. And again, some people are lucky that they found calling in younger age. So, and most people find that a little later in life, to be honest with you. Like I think I found it years ago, but I wasn't able to really leave my job financially, right? I really, although a lot of my friends who started their own business years ago were really pushing me to leave all that. Come on, leave all that crap, man. You're good at this. Start now, right? But since I already had, and here's actually the key. I already had a number of businesses throughout my career. I always had some business. From back in my country, we had in addition to my full-time job. So we had a consulting, we had wholesale and retail. Then I moved to real estate. I purchased so many properties. I mean, I was always into business, and it was always as a second job. So this time, I didn't want to do that anymore because A, it was way too much work, and B, I wouldn't be able to truly focus on my calling. It would still be like working. So now is it, I waited a little longer.
The result or the outcome of everything, of the build-up of everything, that you did over the years. Yeah, I agree. And like you actually touched on another barrier, which is the psychological aspect or the personal aspect. Like throughout the journey, at times you will feel that you're defeated. You will feel that, oh, I'm going to start from scratch. So I think resilience is a key factor in that way, that you really just have to keep going and believe in what you're doing. It might sound a bit cliche or too motivational, but it's true. And another thing, I don't think, I know that it looks bad on the CV if you spend a very short time in a job, but I remember I worked as a writer for 8 months, and then I left the magazine because I felt I had exhausted my creative talent. I felt I couldn't add anymore and nothing was coming in. And that's also another sign of knowing that that's enough. When you feel that you're the one who's giving more than you're receiving, at least in the educational aspect. So that's just something because a lot of people might be afraid to take that step, but I say just go for it. So yeah.
I agree. I think when we are talking about career and shifting career, but it's also existing career. I think, what happened in the old days, people had a job, and they had a job for 40 years, and then they retired, right? But today, I think a lot of people younger folks are like yourself. They like it, they'll stay. They don't like it, they don't see opportunity, they leave. My son used to work for a Metropolitan Museum in New York City, right? I mean, it's one of the really top places if in art. But after, I don't know, year and a half, he was like, I'm leaving. I was like, you crazy? Are you leaving, Matt? I mean, exactly. And he did. And he, because he just didn't see, it doesn't matter, it was a great company, but it was the right thing to do. He's happy, doing great. So you're right. That's another thing about job. I do want to mention one more thing about job.
Yeah.
Often in my training sessions, because we talk about career and job and callings, the question will come up, I really don't know what to do. I don't like my job, right? I don't like my job, but it's okay. It's pay your bills, and I don't know what to do. And it's basically, here's what you can do. You have two options. Or I hate my boss. This comes up a lot, right?
Of course. Yeah.
So you have two options. You can stay, or you can leave. Make up your mind. I mean, really, there's not much. Look at the, pluses and minuses, leaving or staying, and make a decision based on the facts. Don't let your emotions drive you. I think that is the key. Do not
True.
let your emotion drives your big decisions. That's where people make a mistake.
That's a very good point. The balance between, okay, is it logical or is it safe for me to go on, or the emotional part. Um, actually, like I think that also sheds light on one of the letters in the PERMA model that you taught us, which is the meaning and purpose. And I actually give that aspect in my lesson, the part where every few months or every certain like interval, you have to just sit down with yourself and self-assess, ask yourself, what am I doing, why am I here, is it the right step? I think that lies under the umbrella of the questions that you were just referring to. So yeah, definitely.
Exactly right. I mean, that's a great question. Meaning and purpose is always, if you can, we should really try to find the meaning and purpose in almost everything we do. This is not just about, big question, why am I here, which is not easy to answer for a lot of people. But it's like everything that we do. Meaning and purpose of why we're doing this. We want to help people. There's a meaning and purpose behind this, right?
Exactly.
So as long as you find it, you'll be good. Hey, my friend, this was really, really good discussion. I guess I'll just wish you good luck to you as you are changing your career, and good luck to both of us
Yes, yes.
as we are moving into something we love to do. And I know you will be certainly successful. You'll be already doing great within a short period of time. What I've seen, so I know you will make it big time, my friend. I wish you all the best, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much, Braco. Thank you for having me. And I know you're already successful, but you'll be even more successful in the years to come. So best of luck to you as well. Thank you very much.
Thanks, my friend. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
Bye.